UCO men's golf concluded their fall season today in the Dallas Metro at the DBU Classic, and they ended the year with a bang. The Chos were rolling deep in the heart of Texas, having both the best team and the best player. UCO outclassed the competition with a combined score of 14 over par, besting UT Tyler by 18 strokes. And the fun didn't stop there, as Jordan Wilson would go on to win the event with a score of 2 under par. Bennett Baldwin tied for second with an even score. Karsten Pagatti was fourth, and Nicholas Canales finished in eighth, wrapping up a top 10, which featured 4 Bronco golfers. The men's golf team will be back in action February 10th for the Houston Classic in H-Town. After the 1-1 week for UCO volleyball, the MIAA named UCO volleyball stud Addison Wimmer the conference's Offensive Player of the Week. The senior from UConn had a brilliant performance last week. Wimmer had a conference-leading 28 kills, including 20 kills on Saturday in the victory versus Arkansas Fort Smith. She also had a kills per set rate of 4, which was also best in the MIAA. The 21-2 Bronco volleyball team will be back in action this Friday against Central Missouri right here at Hamilton Fieldhouse. Last night, the NCAA released their first edition of 3 Division II regional rankings, and UCO made the cut. All 4 super regions in D2 football were released yesterday, but let's go ahead and discuss the Broncos super region, Super Region 3. 10 teams are in the running and are listed in alphabetical order here. Conference mates Pittsburgh State and Emporia State also appear on the list, as well as juggernauts in Harding, Grand Valley State, and Ferris State. The D2 football poll and AFCA released their latest rankings on Monday, and the Broncos took a dip. In the D2 football poll, the Broncos dropped just 3 spots to 9th, while the AFCA poll, the Chos dropped out of the top 10 and into unlucky number 13. The Broncos look to bounce back in the at St. Joseph, Missouri, against Missouri Western on Saturday. And over at Tom Thompson Field, UCO has 2 games remaining, and those games are going to play a big part in the conference standings. Currently, the Broncos are tied with Northwest Missouri for the 4th place spot in the conference. Now, why does that matter? Because in the MIAA soccer tournament, the top 4 seeds host quarterfinal games, meaning should UCO place 4th, they would host a quarterfinal game at Tom Thompson Field. Should they place 5th, the Bronze and Blue would have to go on the road again. Both teams have 2 games remaining, and we'll discuss those later in the week. And over the weekend, all 4 Edmond high schools were in action, and 3 Edmond schools, plus Deer Creek, won a combined 2-2 on Friday. Let's begin with the good news. Edmond Memorial bounced back from a brutal loss to Owasso and defeated the Westmore Jaguars 16-0. The Bulldogs are 6-2 and are second in their district, but will have to battle Broken Arrow and Tulsa Union the next 2 weeks. Now, if you're a Deer Creek fan, look away, because this game was the equivalent of a nightmare on Elm Street. The Antlers dropped their 2nd straight game to the Norman Tigers 27-54. The Deer Creek Antlers are 6-2 and are 4th in their district. Back to the good news, Edmond North snapped a 6-game losing streak, defeating the Enid Plainsmen in a sluggish 14-7. Sorry, Mom and Maria. The Huskies are 2-6 overall and battle Moore and Jinx at home to end the season. And finally, the Wolves put up a valiant effort against undefeated Owasso, but lost a heartbreaker 31-27. Santa Fe will host UConn for senior night this Friday. And finally, over the weekend, the Oklahoma City Baseball Club finally announced their new name, and I got to tell you, it's out of this world. Yes, the AAA ball club in Oklahoma City will be called the Oklahoma City Comets, a nod to the legendary Oklahoma native Mickey Mantle, who was called the Commerce Comet. The Comets also announced their new manager will be Scott Hennessy. Hennessy comes to the 405 after 7 seasons as manager of the AA Tulsa Drillers. With the Drillers, Hennessy won 455 games, the 2nd most all-time as manager of the Drillers, and won the Texas League Championship in 2018, which was their first league championship in 20 years. The Drillers will announce their new manager later in the winter. Now, Jeremy and Shanice, do you guys like the name change to the Comets, or do you wish they were something else?
Now, Ian, I am a die-hard Astros fan, but I have to give it to him. The Comets is a pretty cool name. How do you feel about the change?
I think it's a good name. I know people were wishing for the 89ers or the Flycatchers, but I think Comets is a very solid name.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I like the change. I think it's pretty cool. Thank you, Ian.